Thank you so much, and welcome everybody to the 2016 Visionary Awards. My name is Denyse Cardozo, and I'm the Executive Director of Silicon Valley Forum, and we're glad you can join us for this very special evening. This is the 19th year we've actually done this awards. The first Visionary Awards were in 1998, and if you put that in context, that was the very same year that Google was founded. Every year for almost 2 decades now, we've been gathering at a beautiful venue like this one to celebrate some pretty incredible people. We're so proud of this event, and we're delighted you could all join us. Silicon Valley is all about innovation, creativity, and the entrepreneurial spirit. So it's our great pleasure each year to celebrate a hand-picked few, the best of the best, the pioneers and the groundbreakers. People who saw the world in a new way and then worked tirelessly to transform an amazing idea to a hard-won reality. The mythology of Silicon Valley goes like this: if you can dream it, you can do it. And our 2016 honorees, Jennifer Palka of Code for America, Carl Bass of Autodesk, and Chairman Tom Wheeler of the FCC, as well as the late, great Andy Grove, embody that magical combination of creative vision and nonstop drive. So a little bit about who we are. Silicon Valley Forum is a nonprofit organization that was founded in 1983. We've been a fixture of the Silicon Valley ecosystem since its early days, when it was changing from a sleeping farming community to the storied mecca of high-tech achievement. Before Silicon Valley was a worldwide phenomenon, before it was an adjective, before it was a TV show, before people came from thousands of miles just to walk around the campus of Google, we were here. So what do? Well, we do a lot. And with a team of only 7 people, we pull off some pretty amazing things. A significant piece of the work we do is events just like this one. We organize conferences, pitch nights, and panel discussions that focus on emerging technology, startups, entrepreneurship, and venture capital. Basically, the everything that Silicon Valley embodies. You name it, and we've organized an event around it. This year, we've introduced a brand new web portal, and we're really proud of it. It is actually an updated version of what we've been doing for the last 33 years. It's a startup workshop, a travel guide, and a dynamic learning tool, all on the same platform. Basically, it's a hitchhiker's guide to Silicon Valley, with everything entrepreneurs need to know in order to navigate this crazy ecosystem, and no towel required. Silicon Valley Forum has been through many changes over the years, but our aim has always been the same: to be the center of startup knowledge in the tech capital of the world, providing guidance, inspiration, and connection opportunities for anyone who might be stuck between a funding round and a hard place. This whole region is based on the idea that anybody can make it here, but nobody ever says you failed. We only ask, what's next? But as a wise man once said, it's dangerous to go alone. Take us. Of course, we couldn't do any of what we do without the support of our amazing board of directors, my dedicated staff, who I couldn't do this without them, so thank you, and our annual partners. I'd like to recognize a few of those partners this evening, as they have sponsored this beautiful event. So please give a warm round of applause to Deloitte, Business Wire, and Accenture. Thank you so much. We couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce the chairman of the board of Silicon Valley Forum, Kevin Surace. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you for coming tonight. The Visionary Awards have been going on since long before I was involved, long before any of this board was involved. Have any of you ever been on a nonprofit board? Raise your hands. Yeah, Esther, I know you have. Most of us have. And you realize it's, it's kind of thankless. You're mostly raising money, and you're out talking to friends, and you're out really helping. This is an amazing organization because it's a small organization, and it's the only one that actually exists as a nonprofit to essentially promote Silicon Valley and help those who want to learn about Silicon Valley come to Silicon Valley from all over the world. We now have dozens and dozens of countries who every year send delegations to learn about Silicon Valley, and they don't know how to do that, so who do you call? You call Silicon Valley Forum, who then creates the events and creates the sponsorships and creates the tour for them during the week. So Denyse and her staff continue to do an amazing job, and as I said, it is a nonprofit, and you know what that means. So I always like to think of this and ask, what is a visionary? What's the point of a visionary? We've now given, I think this is the 98th award over 19 years, and it's about the only award you can get in Silicon Valley. And so what does a visionary mean? Well, a visionary clearly means someone who can see in the future, but we also think a visionary is someone who can see today, but see it in a different way than often the rest of us do. Because I run into people in this valley, and I run into people around the country that say, you know, I've seen it done that way, but I've got a new way to do it. I've got a new way to do it. And you go, a new way to do it? You're crazy, and it turns out it's Uber, right? Or whatever, or Facebook, or whatever the case is. And tonight, we are honoring some amazing visionaries, Carl, Jennifer, Tom, and Andy. A question that I often get is, how does one go about picking the visionaries? Well, I'll tell you. We actually get people who are members of SV Forum, as well as the general public, as well as often people here, who send in throughout the year names. Say, I know this person, or I think this person. And frankly, 80 or 90% of them are incredible names. Like, you really want to do something with these people. But of course, you can only give really for a year. So you have to get it down to a small number. So then we have a board of directors that's an amazing board of directors, about 14 people. And we meet and we discuss and say, okay, what makes sense? And really, did they earn it? And did they? And it's actually quite a grueling affair because it's actually pretty hard because everyone on the list, wants and should get a visionary award. So we really worked hard this year, and I'm going to get to talk about some of the visionaries just a little bit later, so I won't get into too much detail. But I will say that we've got an absolutely amazing slate of visionaries, and every single one is truly a visionary by any step of the imagination and any definition. So we're very happy to have everybody here for that, and have everyone here for this. I have been asked to say one thing before I go on, just a little bit more. Do not turn to your neighbor at your table and give them any information about a game that might involve the Warriors. Do not do that. It doesn't end well, okay? Don't do that. There is, yes, they built that in 1890, Tim. They put the big screen behind the fireplace. So it is an amazing group tonight, and I'll tell you, the interesting one this year is that this is the first time we've presented a Visionary Award posthumously, respectfully and with honor and with grace, and we've got some amazing people here tonight to talk on Andy's behalf and talk about life with Andy, and we'll talk about that later. But that was a big conversation, as you can imagine. It's never been done before, but we really felt that it was so earned. For those of you who are still with us, all three of you at this table, for you, this is not a Lifetime Achievement Award, but a note that you were only halfway there. Keep being visionary. We need all of you to keep being visionary. So with that, I'm going to now switch my little notes here and go on to introducing Carl Bass. So Carl is interesting because he runs a company called Autodesk. Some of you know what that is, some of you may not. It happens to be a little $2.5 billion company in sales, 9,500 employees with a market cap of $13.4 billion. And a good portion of this room probably doesn't know about it. Now, that's because it's not a Google or it's not a Facebook, it's not something you use every day, but it's something you actually interface with every day. The chairs you are sitting on were surely designed with software from Autodesk. The cameras that are videotaping us tonight, or videoing us tonight, or video filing us tonight, surely designed with Autodesk. The tables, the glasses, virtually everything in this place was designed with Autodesk software. I do believe I can honestly say that this building was not designed at a time when Autodesk existed, but pretty much everything else you see likely was, and that's how much it impacts our world. Every modern building you go into was designed with their software. And, when I talked to Carl about this, he had a unique way of saying it. He says, look, we build tools for people. And Carl also said he's privileged to work with the most creative people who are his customers, because if you think about it, he is selling software to creatives. They're going to use his software, not really his software, as a way to create a product, whether it's this podium or this microphone, any electronics, virtually anything that we do is created with that. So he's giving them the tools to express their creativity. And I would say that Carl, and I've known Carl for a long time, really likes to listen to his customers because it gives him ideas of what he is going to put into these products next. I'm going to give you a quick background. 1981, Carl starts a company. He doesn't know I know this, but it's called Flying Moose Systems. Now, we do not know why you would name something called Flying Moose. I have not seen moose fly, even with your software. However, eventually that became Ithaca Software. Yes, it was in upstate New York, where many things great seem to start. And that was a computer graphics company, and he sold it to Autodesk in 1993. He then left Autodesk. There was some argument about something, but he left. And that's okay. He says, that's okay, I'll be back. Am I right, Carl? I'll be back. So he starts Buzzsaw, and he sells that to Autodesk in 2001. He says, I'll be back. And then finally, eventually, they just keep him as CEO, because he says, the guy won't go away, so we're going to hang on to him. But truthfully, he's a mathematician, not an engineer. He took Autodesk from 2D to 3D over the last decade and a half or so. He's now taking Autodesk to the cloud, which is absolutely amazing, and of course, a rethink of the way we interface with everything we do. Adding machine learning and AI, it's just amazing. And in the world of 3D printing, you can't 3D print anything without using Autodesk software to make the design that will 3D print. So I'm going to quickly read this last passage, which just showed up in a magazine not too long ago. Carl's presence fills any room he enters, not because his ego pushes others out, but rather his demeanor welcomes and connects with everyone around him. In title, he's the president and CEO of Autodesk, a $2 billion corporation that creates 3D design software that's used around the world. But in practice, he's a DEO. And a DEO is a catalyst for transformation and an agent of cultural change. Look at business problems as design problems, solvable through the right mix of imagination and metrics. And I think that really describes Carl. So please welcome to the stage my friend and a true gentle giant, as you'll see when he stands up here, Carl Bass.